did the whole thing start? And who are you?
So hi, I'm Nikita Silva, and I'm an architect. And me and my partner Siddhant, we have our own architecture studio. And Rushva mentioned to us the challenges in the sanitation arena with respect to ecological sanitation, and trying to redevelop the current existing systems that exist to make it more ecologically sustainable. So that's how we began our journey.
And when was that?
That was in February of 2016.
So you were not particularly involved in sanitation issues?
No. So we have
It's
no
just-
background in sanitation.
It's just through a conversation with
It's
Rushva?
just through a conversation with Rushva.
Okay,
So, yeah.
whom you know.
So we're school friends. So.
Okay. So you gave them the challenge. You gave them the challenge.
I gave Nikita the challenge. You would not believe, at a wedding.
At a wedding.
And then that's
Okay.
the funny
At a
part.
wedding.
She calls me in the middle of the wedding and she's like, Sid, do you know who I just spoke to? I said, no, Rushva, my friend. I said, yeah. He's like, do you want to build toilets? And I'm like, what do you mean toilets? And that's how it started.
Okay, exciting. In the middle of the night.
This is the level of my obsession, I'm going to call it, because I'm at wedding. You know, architect, you do very well with the toilet.
Toilet.
Why don't you build toilets?
That was precisely how he sold it to me.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, then it's authentic. That's really good. Nobody else has that story. Okay, so you got excited about the idea?
Yeah, so we've always wanted to step out of doing mundane architecture and interiors, and we wanted to do something that was more socially connected. So we were very excited when this came about, and we decided to go ahead and challenge ourselves and see where we could take this. So we had absolutely no background in sanitation. We attended conferences, we spoke with a lot of people who were related to the field and who've been in the field for really long. And we went on site, we visited a lot of toilets, understood these systems, or read up a lot of information that we found online, or information that was handed to me by Rushva and Professor Amni. And so we just and
He gave us a much more clearer picture on what toilets exactly are. And that's when we realized what we're getting into really, really deep shit.
Okay. So what are the big challenges, because there are many challenges. It's not only technical challenges,
Definitely
it's
not.
definitely use. It's not because you build something, this is one of the learnings of the day. It's not because you have something that you're going to use it.
Exactly. So I think building a toilet comes with, it has to be integrated with a lot of different things. One is, of course, the construction, the cost. One is also the behavior of the user towards the toilet. There has to be some kind of an education that's given to the user to make them understand why and how they have to use a particular system. And like Mr. Raina spoke about in the presentation, a chair is a chair, and if you try to use it for a function other than for sitting, it will break. So the same logic applies to a toilet. And challenges. What were the other challenges that we
It
encountered?
was actually finding matter that really did not exist. Like, there's a lot of stuff that we have to actually try out and be very, very critical about. And it was more of making sure, I don't know how to put it.
Basically designing across the field.
Yeah,
It's just not the architectural design, but you take it to material design, you take it to designing like the heart of the whole thing, how they've done it. So you have to, and looking into things like when we were working together, we looked at the pharmaceutical industry, what do they have to provide, how is it working environmentally. So you have to basically design keeping in mind a gamut of things, and that makes it challenging. It's just not sketching out something. It's actually saying that if you want something to be sustainable, you have to design keeping all the stakeholders, all the people who are involved in your mind to actually have the best of the designs. And that is a big
how do you know that you haven't forgotten anybody?
We definitely have forgotten people. We definitely. It's not that we have addressed everybody. But that is the learning curve which we have to go up. As in, what I believe today is with the design with which these people have come up, maybe we have addressed 70% of the challenges. 30% will happen when we are actually standing there on ground.
And may I ask, you got involved at what point, at what stage of the? And you
They can answer that question.
You also a friend or a designer?
That's a story in itself. You need to ask Nikita that story. She knows how. She'll tell you the story how we got involved.
Okay.
So, yeah, very informally, my grandfather is very involved in the work that we do, designing, and he's a mentor to me. So he actually knows Mr. Raina from the Rotary, which is a...
Yes, I understand. I know.
And so he suggested that we get in touch and we share with him our ideas.
Because he is a...
Not only the Rotary.
How else?
And you don't know the whole story. The whole story is apparently you know the story?
Refresh my memory.
I was at the German National Day being celebrated by the Consul General in Mumbai.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay, and that is where I met her grandfather. We had a very small chat over a glass of wine. And he asked me what you're doing. I said, okay, well, I'm doing this and that.
Which is what?
Which is manufacturing of toilets and this green building material.
So you are in the toilet business?
Yes, we are.
That's why he mentioned it to you.
Yeah, so we were just discussing very casually about it and he wished me all the best. He took my card. And one fine day, he gives me a call and he says, well, Mohit, somebody is interested in doing this. Talk to these people. I was like, okay, why not? Definitely, I'll do that. The next thing, Nikita calls me. And the day after that, I guess I was sitting in their design studio and we were discussing how to take it forward.
But in your work, you also design new concepts of toilets? Is that something that you do?
No, we are mainly the manufacturers and the installers. So we actually build the toilet on the ground.
I see.
So we are that part of the value chain, and they are the designers. They come up with the concepts, but then actually implementing it on ground. So manufacturing the raw materials, taking it to that place, implementing it there. That's what we do.
Okay.
So that's our part of the story.
Yes. Okay.
So at the end of it, I think what the entire thing has come to, that design is a tool.
Yes.
And you can only use it to that extent where you have to keep the user as the main focus point.
Exactly. Yeah.
So if your design does not work for the user, it's a fail.
This is what the stories that were told today.
Yes.
And also to maintain it, to keep it clean. If something goes wrong, to repair it.
When you're talking about the user, you're talking about an end-to-end solution. So right from the installation to the use to the maintenance, it has to be.
Yeah. And it's not necessarily the same person.
No.
No, exactly.
Yeah. So what was your main, eureka moment, I don't know, when that light started shining?
I think we thought we had a lot of eureka moments along the way because we thought we had it, and then we kept going and we kept changing the design and evolving it.
I think a eureka moment happened when we were just, I think it was me, Nikita and Dave. He's not here. But we were sitting in the studio and we were just trying to figure out, sketching all stupid things and ideas which we knew would not work, but it was something that you should get bad ideas out in the start. And then it just came upon us about a pivot, and how can a pivot just work? And that's when we got our eureka moment, and then from there we went into multiple revisions and
drawings, models,
and then it came to this.
But it was this.
Yeah, it was the.
So it was always the concept of the pivot, because we knew we wanted one pan but two pits. So those were the constants, and then we tried to figure out how could we use just one pan and divert the fecal matter, the urine and the wash water.
So how far are you, and what are the challenges ahead?
So I think one of the main challenges currently would be how to work out costing, because the prototype that we've developed so far, we need to test it out. So I think getting funding for the testing would be an immediate challenge, and then in the long run, realizing how to reduce the cost or make it more economically feasible for all stratas of society, not just a certain sector. With prototyping and with testing would come changes in design. So I'm sure along the way we will have to tweak the design a little bit, improve it and evolve it in a lot of senses.
And you're still a strong believer in the
Absolutely.
in the in the value of your, I don't know, your enterprise. No, this whole mission, this whole
Definitely. I cannot. If that.
I don't think it's
then
possible
that's
to
not
be.
an option, then.
Yeah, I don't think it's.
you wouldn't have started in the first place if you didn't.
We didn't exactly.
And what about the use? The trust that the user will be, will adopt this model.
So I think apart from being ecologically, sensible and sustainable, I think we've tried to keep the user in mind when we've developed the superstructure, which is the using the textile reinforced concrete panels. We've tried to add a few adjustments there so that people would be excited to use the design and use the toilet. They won't look at it as a box that they have to go into anymore.
And it's going to be for man and female, the same toilet, same both, and for a family. Oh, it's for a family.
For a family of 6.
I understand. Okay, I had not clear. Yeah. So indeed, so it's not it's a household.
It's a household toilet.
But outside.
Outside has not attached.
Exactly. And what I really liked is how you ended.
Thank you.
Just a bit late, I'm finishing an interview. Yes, about, because why was that? Why did you have this whole scope about leaving India? And
so we've, on a more personal note, we've always contemplated, wanting to shift to another country purely, and the discussion has always revolved around quality of life. We've always spoken about how quality of life in India is so poor as compared to a lot of other cities around the world. So we've always spoken of leaving just because of that reason. So I think it was more personal to revolve the presentation around that. So we wanted to sort of end it with the same way we began.
So can you say those words for me, just for to have
the
them?
way I ended it?
Yes. I was telling that I really liked it.
To me, this.
No, not that. I think the previous one, the one. How did we start? I don't even.
I know it's about the light. The
beacon.
Yes, I like that.
It's very easy for us to want to sit on a plane and leave the country, but I think it's important for us to be culturally bound to where we belong and to help improve the quality of life here. And when I look at our model, I think of it as a beacon of light. A beacon rather, and I believe that speaks for the safety of women, it speaks for the aspirations of a nation and for a brighter future.